If you can't make it to Broadway, we're bringing Broadway to you each and every week right here on The Broadway Show. I'm Tamsen Fadal. I'm so glad you're joining us.
Yes, everything I do is for the gays. I'll do an outfit change. I'll do a twirl. I'll do just about anything to be your girl.
We're still drinking the potion for the new musical comedy, Death Becomes Her. Of course, it's based on the iconic film, and it is hilarious.
Paula Torek caught up with Broadway's best frenemies, Megan Hilty and Jennifer Simard.
Hey ladies, I'm so thrilled you're back on Broadway together. How's it feeling to be launching this major Broadway musical?
I still don't really believe that it's real. Like, I know that we're all dressed up and we're having a fabulous time here today, but like, it's so grand and it's so wonderful, and so many elements of this, what you see on stage and what we experience off stage, are fabulous. So I'm still pinching myself every day.
This is also one of those titles, and you've both been in musicals like this, based on a movie that everybody's like, that should be a musical, right? You've been through that before, and this is one of those, right? I'm sure you experience this all the time in your like regular life.
Oh yeah, I think I still have the ticket stub from when the movie came out somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, and I think everyone knew this would make a great musical, and I'm happy to report that not only is the movie as exceptional as it is, but what these writers and artists collectively have done to translate it to stage is one for the books. Isn't it really wonderful?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because it's one of the most iconic movies ever made. But what they've done is taken that and made it completely its own while paying homage to what's been done before us. I'm really thrilled for people to experience it.
I'm thrilled for the opportunity of you two. I've loved both of you forever. I've followed your career for decades.
I mean, decade. We're only 20.
I just started.
So, yeah.
I just started this whole Broadway thing.
We'll go with plural. Sure.
Just a baby.
But it's not every day you get a lead in a brand new Broadway musical. I mean, this is huge.
Oh, it's humongous, yeah.
We were saying once too, like the canon of two women on Broadway, it's not that large, and so it is quite an honor. And you know, if we the female producers, that sounds good to me. Like I'm just really excited. And they just put up our artwork this week, and how I always wanted this, right? And little girl, you know how many people would love to be in our shoes. So we treating it with great respect and hope we live up to it.
I'm looking forward to the day where I'm taking the subway and there's really terrible things drawn on my face.
You will have arrived.
That's the goal.
That's when I'll know that I've made it. I can't wait.
So these characters, Madeline, Helen, wow, they're a lot.
What makes you say that?
I mean, these are women who live very large, right? And they're very large characters to inhabit. But you make them. You also have to make them very human and build these real human relationships. I think you're doing that beautifully. What is it like, that balance? Because you do get to be extremely broad in the show as well.
I don't know, because it does feel like I'm waiting for somebody to say, no, that's too much. Like, please don't do that. But I love that we have this space where we get to do that.
Yeah.
And inherently, like, you have to bring yourself to it, otherwise it's not real. So I don't know what that is, where that, like, how to put words to that balance, but it is very much at the center of what we're doing.
You have to know that even when you're using the largest brush stroke, that it has to be based in something real.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can go in with a fine brush stroke. And usually, to Megan's point, if you bring yourself to it, it's always going to be grounded if you work from the inside out. So even the broadest things are based in truth. I think we're both really good at listening to each other on stage and talking with our eyes, and I really appreciate that as your scene partner.
Yeah.
That keeps it honest, even when we're doing the most ridiculous things.
Yeah.
I mean, not since Roxy and Velma have two showbiz ladies maybe rivaled each other but needed each other so much. It's such a fun dynamic. They're enemies at times, they're rivals, they come together. Like, it's a fun story.
Like any friendship, there are dynamics.
Yeah.
You know, theirs just happen to have, like, their range is a little maybe wider. But at the core, they love each other. Everything that drives what we do is because we want to impress the other one. We want, even, it might come across as like we want to top the other one, but it comes from a place of admiration and love. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
In every relationship, there are going to be times when you're in sync and you're not in sync, and you have to ride those waves. And I think with the two of them, eventually, you get on each other's nerves, especially with the people you love the most and feel safest with, right? So these two definitely have known each other for years, so that's all there. But ultimately, realizing it becomes on a surface level, I think, a bit of a buddy flick between these two fabulous women on a theatrical level.
Yeah.
And yes, and realizing that, oh, there's deep love and you are my person and I am yours, and the beauty in that.
This movie is also really known for incredible special effects
Yeah.
that you are sort of tasked with recreating on stage, and it's really fun to watch. What is the challenge of that like for you? And I'm sure it's sort of a process.
It's very fun because it's not something that I'm used to doing at all, being introduced to this illusion world. And from what I understand, a lot of these things are going to evolve even more for Broadway. So I'm really excited to see how these things are going to change.
But to be clear, you can't actually turn your head around, and you don't actually have a hole in
Maybe,
your
of course
chest.
I can. I just learned how.
That's right.
safely.
That we had
Yes.
a whole workshop.
Yes.
I am sitting here with a hole in my stomach as we speak. That's why I'm not drinking.
She's been she's been hiding it for however many
whole time,
years.
that's right.
We never knew.
Yeah, but I think we're magicians now. Is there a union we need to join?
We are multi-hyphenates now.
We are.
We are.
Illusionists, action stars. There's a lot.
A singer who moves well. There's a lot of hyphens in there.
Good to be king. Vincent Jamal Hooper roars as Simba in the long-running hit The Lion King. We caught up at the Star Child rooftop at the Pavilion. What is this role like for you? I mean, this is a role that everybody knows and is aware of, from the youngest of Broadway fans to the oldest. What has this been like for you?
It's been really wonderful. I mean, it's a subtly spiritual show, so there's a lot of ways that I feel like I found myself connecting to it that feel very profound and sort of full circle in a way. It was the first show I ever saw, like right when I first got into theater. My mom took me to the national tour that came through Texas, and here we are, you know, years later, and I'm playing the role on Broadway.
That's amazing. How old were you when you first saw the show?
I believe I was like 16 or 17.
So did you fall in love with Broadway then, or was it way before that?
That was sort of my first, like the first time I sort of was like, oh wait, this is like a career that people do. And then sort of found my way into like regional shows in Texas, and then people just word of mouth kind of got me, kept working.
Is there anybody that you've seen in this role that you say like that's, you know, somebody that's helped me craft, you know, who I want to be in that part?
I mean, I've only seen the show the one time that many years ago, so I'm like, I don't think so, which is really exciting as well, because I think that I'm able to bring something new to it.
Oh, so you never saw it on Broadway then?
No, only the tour.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you do that on purpose now? I'm
No.
not seeing it. Okay.
I mean, I saw it on Broadway only recently because, you know, I'm doing
of
it, but I feel excited about the opportunity to bring something new to it, and also the creative team has given me room to sort of explore and discover some things that maybe are unexpected.
What's your experience been like and your time been like in New York now as you're doing this, and walking through the theater district, walking through Times Square, walking through the door of that historic theater to do this show?
Yeah, it's been so wonderful to feel like, you know, after being on the road for so many years, getting the opportunity to set some roots down and you know, reconnect to friends who are here and see them in their shows while I have the time.
Yeah.
And it feels nice to feel like I'm sort of more part of the community now, and getting to just kind of be in the mix of it all. It's such an honor.
Well, it is like Simba. It's like actually the story of Simba.
Being away for all that time, and because I spent a bit of time here many years ago, just briefly. And then that was right when I booked Hamilton, so then that took me away for a long time. So to come back in this way, and it's like, oh, I'm leading a show on Broadway, so yeah, and like it feels like a bit of a fairy tale, like something Disney would write.
The Screwball Spy Caper Operation Mincemeat is one of Broadway's most fun shows, and the musical's breakout star, Jack Malone, won the Tony this year for his performance. Here's an exclusive musical performance from the Broadway.com studio.
Dear Bill, I'm afraid I've not got long to write. I'm off to Mary's, you know how she feels about bridge night. It's been a few days. I thought that I'd send a few lines. Next door's greyhound came into the garden this morning. I think he likes the roses. They're doing fine. I used some twine to tie them up and rein them in. I hope they'll bloom next spring. But you'll see that for yourself. I'm following the instructions you left in your note. Please devote all your time to their care. And I have done, I swear. Except for the talking, I'm not going to do that. 'Cause talking to roses is mad, and you knew that. When you whispered sweet nothings to flowers to make my dad cross and me laugh, and it did. And why did we meet in the middle of a war? What a silly thing for anyone to do.
This is a Broadway show, and we're back in just a few.
Your sister sends her love.
Welcome back to the Broadway show. I'm Tamsin Fidel. Let's get back to it. Life is a cabaret, especially at the Kit Kat Club on Broadway. There's no other way to describe this experience other than totally immersive. You're actually in the Kit Kat Club. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway.
Thanks, Tamsin. Scenic and costume designer Tom Scott was nominated for 2 Tony Awards for transforming Broadway's August Wilson Theater into the Kit Kat Club. Let's go inside the immersive world of cabaret. Thank you for inviting us into the Kit Kat Club. Obviously, we know cabaret takes place in Weimar, Berlin in 1930s, but we're on 52nd Street, but I don't know where we are. We could be anywhere.
Great. I wanted it to feel like artists, creatives, queer culture had sort of taken over a building that was part of the mainstream, I suppose, and subverted it slightly. So that does, of course, have connotations of 1920s Berlin. It also has many different connotations over the 20th, 21st century. And there are touch points that I've sort of lent into slightly from all sorts of different eras, and just to create something that feels dreamlike, I suppose. I wanted it to sort of feel transportive, and that we're being taken somewhere else and someplace else at a different time, but not necessarily completely sort of nail down or be specific about when that is.
All right, here we are going into the Vault Bar.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful space, but it looks like this is one of the areas where you got to use the artists that you were talking about.
Yeah, for sure. And also some of the original details from here. I mean, obviously this theatre has had many, many renovations over the last 100 years. So a huge part of this job was not only what are we going to bring in, but also what are we going to bring out, and what are we going to celebrate and use rather than try to cover up. And I think that sort of speaks somewhat to the whole endeavour anyway. You know, how much are we pulling from history and how much are we sort of adding onto it.
Okay, so now we're in the Red Bar. It's very quiet in here right now, but when I came to see cabaret, it was bodies and drinking, and in all of that, you have these beautiful paintings. So tell me about them.
Okay, so these are amazing commissions by this extraordinary artist, Jonathan Lyndon Chase, and I really love about this project trying to find artists who are sort of adjacent to theatre or slightly related to it in some way in their work is sort of represented, but not quite in the same world, and just fusing. I think so much of this project is about doing that. It's like interfacing theatre with fashion, with architecture, with hospitality, and with fine artists.
We've made it. We're in the green bar. You know a designer is committed when you dress the tables and the ceiling and the bar and so much.
It's slightly obsessive, isn't it? One of the things we've got in here is this board that we've made behind the bar, which we've got illustrations from Eddie and Gail and Stephen Skybell of their own Cabaret Eyes, which they've signed. And so we sort of like to build it up. So
It's
it
gonna
just
keep
has this
growing.
kind of historical feel, yeah.
Okay, we made it here into the theater. And it's such a beautiful space, but a lot of the seating wasn't here prior to this production.
Yeah, I mean, it's all pretty much new. The old mezzanine still exists. That's over there. That's about 400 people. And the old orchestra exists to a degree, but we have built over a large proportion of the audience, pulled out the stage into the space, and essentially built more auditorium on what was the old stage. If you're sitting on that side, you're essentially sitting where many, many people have performed over the last 100 years.
Now we have to talk about the cabaret tables, which is true of most productions of cabaret because it's part of the show.
Yeah, I really, really love these here.
And they're different from London.
They're totally different from London. But yeah, you can sit at the front of the space. You can get a phone call from members of the company.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Who may or may not be seeing you from somewhere in the building, although you won't be able to see them. So that's like quite, that's part of the fun of the eye concept, I suppose,
Right.
in a way. There's not a bad seat here. And you can feel it. You can feel the energy of the crowd is really responding to it. That's the thing that I'm really big on. I want a lot of my work to feel like it sort of touches all your senses and to feel like you are part of something that is as much about the people sitting next to you as the performers on stage. And it's not just about this, but it's about who we are together and what it means for us to sit next to each other and experience work like this.
It takes a lot of people to keep a Broadway show running, from the stars on stage to the orchestra in the pit and all the people behind the scenes. Here's Perry Sook.
So we are backstage of the Gershwin in the stage management office with the lady herself, Sel. This is crazy. The emotion, the energy. We're about to start a show. So tell me how you came to Wicked.
So I graduated college, and my first gig, I would say, was to be an intern for Mary Beth, who is the production stage manager at Wicked. She was here when I was an intern more than 10 years ago. And I went to do many shows. I was on the road when I was 20s. I went to 42 states, I think, in America, because I did a lot of tours. Then I came back to New York City, and my lovely friends, two lovely stage managers, decided to leave Wicked after pandemic. I was the luckiest person at the time that they chose me to be a part of this production, and I feel very lucky still.
So a show as massive as this, I mean, you've got flying bubbles, you've got, flying witches. You've got all sorts of things going on, and you're there, kind of running the whole rehearsal. Is that extra pressure?
Oh, yes, every day. Every day there's the extra pressure because this show is so loved by everybody. Every day I start the show and I was like, you know what? I was that girl. I really loved this show. So I feel a little pressure that I need to do a good job for the audience or the girl I was like 20 years ago. Pretty much we have a great day and then we have fun at work, yeah.
That's wonderful. I always say, it might be your 200th time doing it, but it's some audience member's first time to do it.
Exactly.
Wicked brings that magic.
Absolutely. In a day, I can get to see the audience when I walk through the house, and when I see them excited and they have playbills, their smiles, drinks in their hands. That's the good reminder. That's the reason why I'm doing this job, and I need that reminder sometimes. Yeah.
All right, I might be as much of a fangirl of Wicked as you are. Do you mind showing me around?
Oh, I don't mind it at all. I can show you the calling station where we call the show.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So this is actually where the magic happens. This is where you call it from.
Yes, this is where we call. It's fantastic. We have a view of the stage right here. We don't have to use a monitor, but we have the monitor.
So how many cues are you calling out of this thing? How many light cues are there in this show?
So we have almost 300 cues.
Almost 300 light cues,
Yeah.
and that's not talking about the automation and all the
No,
magic.
because we would flip these switches for automation and autoflat in a rail. But yeah, we have 300 cues for lights.
Just remarkable. So I know how amazing and wonderful this show is to me, but I got to ask you, I normally say, what does Broadway mean to you? But it is the 20th anniversary of Wicked. What does Wicked on Broadway mean to you?
It really means everything to me. I know a lot of people say their favorite show is Wicked, but mine is Wicked. I was listening and singing along with their original cast member, album. I was translating English to Japanese, the Wicked lyrics, just because I loved it so much. And I think if I didn't meet Wicked when I was middle school, I don't think I would be here, meaning I don't think I would have chosen this profession without Wicked.
And that's going to do it for us. But for tickets, or if you want to see extended cuts of all the interviews, head over to Broadway.com. And be sure to check out The Broadway Show Uncut wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show.